Welcome back. Here's a look at your G Fuel key player matchup in the battle for the #1 seed here in our final week of group play. We have EnVy going up against OpTic Gaming's Formal.
Yeah, Formal's been rock solid across all game modes, excelling at S&D. You see there with a 1.56 KD. EnVy Search and Destroy KDs across the board kind of ruined with their poor day one. Slasher has been fantastic in the respawn game modes, especially Hardpoint, leading EnVy to an undefeated record so far in the game mode this weekend.
Keep your eyes on Slasher. If EnVy wants to pull off the upset, we'll see if they can do it right now. And we are back. It is the final match of group play here at Stage 2 of the Call of Duty World League presented by PlayStation 4. The Global Pro League has been fantastic, but Matt, it's coming to a close, and no better way to finish than with the battle. It's the E-Classico. We got EnVyUs going up against OpTic Gaming, two of the most storied franchises here in Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's the final group play game just overall for the year for the Global Pro League. After this, we go to playoffs, then go straight into champs, where obviously there'll be group play there, but it's crazy that we're already at the end of Stage 2. Excited that we get this matchup between these two teams. It was EnVy who was able to force it to a Game 5. The first match just did not come out on top. They have a chance to change here, though. They have a chance to get that #1 seed. They just got put away OpTic pretty quick.
OpTic, they are perfect so far in Uplink. They are perfect so far in Search and Destroy, but EnVyUs has not dropped a single hard point. And if you remember their last matchup, it went to a Game 5. Here's a look, though, at our numbers, Matt. And Scump, he's topping everybody's leaderboard with the overall KD. I believe it's a 1.34. His respawn, though, separates him from the rest of his squad. He's at a 1.25, and he gets 32% of his team's kills when it comes to this game mode. Yeah, he's been great in Hardpoint, and so is Slasher. You see right there, matching him in KD. Slasher with a little bit more hill time per game and more defense. Slasher's been a huge part for EnVy's success the entire weekend. IW, it's been basically two different stories for these squads. You had EnVy showing up pretty strong at Atlanta, had a top 3 finish there. Other than that, not a great title for them so far. On the other side, OpTic Gaming, they've won back-to-back tournaments this year. They've been in several grand finals. They had an off Anaheim and not the finish they wanted at the Stage 1 playoffs, but they are looking like they are back in true form. And we want to remind everybody, OpTic Gaming back in Stage 1, in their group play, they were perfect. They didn't drop a single hard point. EnVy, if they can win both of the hard points, they tied that accomplishment from our initial stage.
If I remember correctly, OpTic did not have the strongest group during Stage 1. I think it was Red Reserve, Elevate, I think Enigma 6 in there as well. I think that was the 1 week I was gone.
Right.
You did have, not as strong competition as this group, but EnVy going undefeated in this group in Hardpoint would be an amazing achievement. That would mean, obviously, beating OpTic twice in this series, again in Hardpoint, and then going through Cloud9 and Epsilon, who we also thought were very strong teams. Obviously, going undefeated throughout a weekend in a game mode, it's not something to kind of knock or whatever. OpTic, fantastic in Stage 1, but I think EnVy doing it here would be pretty impressive.
OpTic, they have a chance to go undefeated in Search and Uplink, though. So all kinds of records could be set right here today, and you are watching the closing of all of the group stages throughout IW leading up to champs. We're going to see how this one finishes out. And Matt, I want to get your prediction. We heard from the desk, a lot of people are going OpTic's way. When you look at the maps, who do you see coming out on top? I
would agree with the desk. I think OpTic, they've just been so strong throughout the weekend. I mean, they could easily, EnVy's undefeated, they could easily come out and take game #1 OpTic, and then their Search has looked lights out. EnVy, they're still up and down in Search and Destroy. They had a poor day one, good yesterday. Don't know what to expect from them, in the matchup of this caliber. I would go with OpTic Gaming in this match.
I want to give a special shout out to all of our friends out in Boulder, Colorado, working in the Activision office there. We got a series of mathematicians, some geniuses who have been crunching the numbers, and they've been sharing them with our stats guy, JP. One of the big stats coming into this one is just how good both of these teams are on our first hard point. OpTic, since the Dallas Open, they have played hardpoint on throwback 10 times. Out of those 10, they've won 7. For Envy, they've played it 8 times, and out of those, they've won it 6. So Envy comes in with a 75% win rate to OpTic 70%. Fantastic numbers when you're coming into this first game.
Yeah, I think if Envy is going to be a big player in this series, especially the respawns, you got to look at JCap. I know against OpTic, you cannot have a weak link, and I think JCap, you look obviously, the clear one who could have an off game for Envy. Did play very good in the throwback hardpoint they had earlier the day. I'll look for JCap though. I mean, big game situation, he usually plays pretty well.
Game number 1, moments away. We highlighted Slasher's 1.25 in hard points. We highlighted the kill death ratio from Scump, also at a 1.25. But Envy, they've had backup. Is Apathy going to be right there with Slasher the entire way through like he was in their first series against each other?
And obviously it's a big moment for this Envious team, but it is one they've seen before in stage 1. They go into the same exact kind of scenario. Last match against Splice, that series they needed a 3-0 to take the #1 seed, and they're able to get that big win against Europe's best. They had the same situation here in stage 2. Can they do it against one of North America's best? We'll find out.
Here's a look at throwback as we get into the first game in the best of 5s. You just saw how this hill that Envy is spawning on can be crucial to victory. And open things up. Sorry about the colors. OpTic's gonna be wearing blue. EnVyUs, normally your blue team wearing red in this opening battle.
Yeah, you'll see Formal at the beginning of the game, pick up 2 kills, get control of the hard point as OpTic, they have control for that barn hill coming up next, and see Envy and Apathy trying to work down bike path, trying to get some control here in the middle of the map, trying to maybe go, go all the way through, under the bridge, or maybe go up above the bridge, try and get some control in the middle of the map. But OpTic has done a nice job shutting that down.
Scump opening things up 5-1, currently on a 3 streak with the E-Red, is keeping the pressure on these spawns. And look at this. Claws his way through Slasher, looking for the second, unable to pick it up, but his support is there. Crim6 holding the ground and clearing the way. OpTic Gaming is going to try and crash in on this new hard point, and you see Karma looping all the way around the back. He's been spotted, and Apathy will take him down, but the front hit is about to come in from Scump.
Yeah, so that's the right play by Karma. I mean, he tries to go all the way through barn, pick up that farthest cut because he knows the players are spawning up the top, but it just does not have anyone there to clear out this back area. He gets cut down. It'll be Envy in control of barn early. The rest of his teammates spawning up. Going to be coming right behind him, and they know they have to get this player in the back, and they're able to kill John over by Lime. Now they're going to push the hill.
It looks like Envy will hold for now. JCap, as I said, is slid into by Crim6, and Crim is going to take over the hill. So John and crew from EnVyUs will try and break in once again. Crim is waiting for him in that window, and the headshots will land. Kills being traded back and forth. It's a 2-on-2. John and Scump in your feed, and Formal will finally find John, but the hill has been broken by Cap.
Yeah, but it's only 7 seconds. OpTic can give this time up. They're going to have somebody slide in and take it. That'll be Crim, but now you go over down towards bike path. OpTic Gaming in full control here in the first map.
And OpTic kept contesting right there. They did not want to give any time to EnVyUs. You look at the numbers. Envy, they're starting to fall way behind. How do you bring it back right here? That's going to be the question for your red squad as OpTic Gaming's Karma goes up and over, floating through the center of the map, makes the calls. The injured players all picked off. It's only Apathy left alive as 3 just went down for EnVyUs. They got to regroup before they hit. Apathy's going to try and go it alone, and he will win the battle. Meanwhile, JCap on the back end is flanking with his squad. And Envy, they have the better spawns for the new hardpoint, but they can't let OpTic Gaming pull away.
Yeah, but at this time, I mean, they need time. You control the spawns for baseball, that's great. You can't give up the last 15 or so seconds. And OpTic is just one wave of kills from taking these spawns right back. And you see Crim and Formal in the feed. Formal wins another gunfight. Nice shots there on a Slasher behind the bus. And now you see OpTic starting to push through. They have a big lead. If Envy were to make a comeback, they need to take a solid, 30, 40 points here.
They were down 53 as the hardpoint rotated to baseball. Scump and crew figuring out how they're going to break through. Player number 4, keep your eyes on Karma on the mini-map. Meanwhile, you see John winning the gunfights at short range here in bowling. Karma's still up for OpTic Gaming in the back. And Karma has officially cleared it all out. He's got some teammates with him. OpTic, they're forcing Envy to spawn out in the middle. And Karma is set up for the opening push.
The smart rotation from OpTic Gaming. You see Karma was in the hill. As soon as his teammates spawn up top, he floods on out. The next person comes in, picks up the hill. It's unfortunate. They're not able to pick up any kills. It was a good setup, but EnVyUs will break in. It's Slasher still with another strong hardpoint game. 13-10 right now on a 4 streak. Trying to get Envy some time here on our last hill in our first rotation.
Trying to cut it down from 53-point advantage for OpTic down to about 40. And you're going to see John rotating for EnVyUs once again. Krim waiting for him in the middle. Slasher stacked up with Apathy, and Apathy just got ripped by Formal, and Karma just paving their way. Player number 2, Formal, watching the flank while everyone else is looking forward. Krim6 is going to be on the flank behind 2 Envy players now. Picks up the first, but JCap is going to turn on him. And Cap will pick up the kill. Envy, they've got control of the center of the map. How many points will they be able to gain? Trying to bring it back within 30 here. It's been a good minute and a half now.
Yeah, this is just bonus time for Envy. I mean, anytime you get in the middle, just a little bit of bonus if you can control that barn area. So JCap here playing under the window. You thought that would have been an easy kill to pick up, but Karma able to just pre-fire it. Knows there's probably a player coming up to challenge him. Able to win the fight. And I think the real issue now is that Envy has lost that back barn spawn. You see there's one player all the way in the back. That's going to be Formal for OpTic Gaming. He's pushed all the way into the back by Lime. You've got another player that's Krim6 on your minimap pushing all the way through. So Envy looks like they're not going to be able to control this barn hill at the beginning. That's going to be hard for them to make this comeback, because you imagine OpTic, look, they have full control. They're going to get pushed out up towards this top side. Envy's going to need a break here early, or else the score's going to get ugly.
Formal is just doing so much work right now. He is on a 3 streak, but he's assisted at least 3 other kills. And you look at the battle coming into this, we wanted to highlight Slasher, we wanted to highlight Formal. Formal 18-12, Slasher was 16-11, I believe. Now he's at 17-15, slowing down quite a bit. And here's a look at the next push. 3 kills in the feed for Envy as they finally break through. But here comes the flood from OpTic Gaming, the retake battle. They try and stall out, waiting for player number 2, Formal, to catch up. Here comes the push. Scump gets first. Krim is there. Formal, can he trade it out? It's Slasher versus Formal, and Slasher picks up the final 2.
Yeah, but still, it's only 15, 20 seconds there for Envy. It's not really going to be huge at the end of the game. As you see, OpTic Gaming, they've gotten control of bike path here. For Envy, you do have the camo on Slasher, so you could use that over at baseball. They need to buckle down, though. They need to get a hard point to go in their favor in a big way.
We saw Envy kind of clawing for the barn on both rotations. This time around, though, they will be in control of the bike path early. OpTic not set up yet. Karma down low is just contesting. Envy cannot get close to him. Player number 3, Krim6, is overwatching him. And Krim is going to jump to the middle, getting aggressive here. I'm watching down low to see if Apathy is surviving his fight. So far, he has kept the contest alive with Karma on the other side. Finally, Envy will take control of the hard point, and they will continue to score. They were down 50 as this hill rotated. Now they will finish it down by 35. And actually, they're going to get out of the hill and try and push forward. Player number 5 at the top of the mini-map is waiting for the new spawns. There they are. You got John as well as Apathy coming up as JCap will try and push in. You got Karma waiting, and it's all blue in the feed. Envy simply getting outgunned here on baseball, Matt.
Yeah, they couldn't push through that top. They got no kills to go their way. You didn't really see a lot of the tacticals coming through, and you do have the camo of Slasher. You got to think about potentially using it here. As I know OpTic Gaming to get out of the hill for just a second. Now they're in complete control of it, but JCap picks up 1. Now you may need to see the push come in fast for Envy, because as soon as you get that first kill, you got to go. But 2 of their players get cut down, and now OpTic, they're spawning up towards that top side. They can just keep flooding on through.
As we watch the gunfire, you see it all playing out. 2-on-2 battle. Scump staying up, knows there's just one more nearby. It's going to be John, and John is going to retreat. Biggest lead of the game we've seen now for OpTic Gaming.
You do see OpTic getting back towards that center of the map, and The hill comes back towards our central hard point. You see EnVy in control of it, but if you're OpTic, you have a big lead right now. You just need to focus on getting over towards that barn side of the map, getting control of that area. If you can do that, if you split time here on that center hard point, I mean, look at all the payload abilities. You have everything up for OpTic. You still just have that camo for EnVy. You feel like you're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, JCap and Apathy, though, they're going to have theirs any moment. And we take our screen over to Formal as he challenges EnVy's setup. Formal and Scump getting traded out. John and Slasher are waiting. And Slasher holds strong once again. He is nearing his 30th kill at 29 and 24. On the other side, Formal slowed down just a bit, 27 and 23. Those still staying very positive. And with Slasher now gone, EnVy, they know where the pressure is going to be coming from. Player number 7, Apathy, spots one, and he's going to lose the gunfight, though. That's 3 straight individual battles lost. Slasher, the only one coming off respawn to survive, and his teammates are spawning across the map. Fantastic break for OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, they don't have to use any of the payload abilities as well. That's the real important part for OpTic Gaming. You get that break, you spawn EnVy all the way out. Now you force Slasher to come use the camo just to get close enough towards the hill. He's able to get 2. Still one more player to beat here. He's got Formal on one side, Scum coming through the other. OpTic Gaming still controls that back spawn. Because there's been so much open hill time and so much congestion too. It's only 49 seconds left on the game clock, so EnVy in a real tough spot. Looking like they're going to lose their first hard point.
Yeah, 85-point advantage now for OpTic Gaming, as they should have this one locked up, barring any crucial errors.
Well, even right now, I mean, this does not work for EnVy. You can't just sit in the hill. You can't contest this because the overall game clock going to start to go down. I mean, you're only at 39 seconds right now.
Right.
EnVy needs to just keep pushing forward. They need to keep OpTic off of this hill. They need to take as much time as possible. And you see Scump, he knows the exact situation. He doesn't need to go out and challenge. He knows EnVy needs to come to him. He can just contest this hill, let the overall game clock run down, and OpTic will be your winner.
Scump looking for the pick. Instead, he will fall, as JCap has lots of support. Slasher overlooking with the NV4. JCap continues to soak up this time. They have 18 points remaining down low, and EnVy is edging their way back in this game. You take a look at Apathy. He still has that reactive armor ready to go. Slasher has used the camo, though, and JCap has used his payload as well. So coming down to this last baseball hard point, I think this is OpTic's game. Score streaks coming in. JCap's gonna find Karma, but it's Krim and Formal in the feed. Apathy must go big with the reactive. Does he pop it? No, he's gonna save it. And Scump will lock down baseball, at least for now. EnVy is spawning close, so they have one more push here, Matt.
Yeah, there's not really much to save it for. I mean, there's only 14 seconds left overall. EnVy, they get a few kills. They need to get in towards the hill. It'll be Formal getting one, using FPL, going right around JCap. Beautiful play there from Formal. So it looks like OpTic's going to be able to close this one out. If you're OpTic, just get out of the hill. Just get out of the hill.
Jump out, Matt. We know that. OpTic, though, they want that 250. They know it's going to the center of the map. EnVy is not a true threat here on baseball, and it is almost impossible to lock down the middle. 247, 248, 249, 250 to 162. OpTic Gaming finally ends EnVy's streak in hardpoint.
It's a big win there for OG. They looked fantastic on that first hardpoint. If you're EnVy, that's a big shot of confidence coming into this series. You took 2 hardpoints off them last time. You're undefeated in the game mode. You come out and you get smoked in game number 1.
Nice job by OpTic. Bit surprising for me, honestly. I thought that this was going to be EnVy's game. OpTic, they had the lead early, though. EnVy really never had that moment where they can turn the tide.
Although EnVy was undefeated in hardpoint, I still would have probably taken OpTic in this one, just because you know, like, how these guys have the potential to go off. I mean, if you have a great game from Formal and Scump, there's really nothing the other team can do about it. So I think you look at EnVy, obviously, they took 2 hardpoints off them. The first series they played, they were both very close. You looked at it coming into this, if both of those guys heated up, Formal and Scump, you were going to get a win for OG. But as we move over to game 2, you see how dominant they've been in S&D all weekend long. Karma's been a beast. I mean, 2.29 KD, 10 plants, 2 diffuses. He's dominated the game mode.
I mean, Scump and Karma, talking with JP, they're averaging a kill per round of Search and Destroy. I think the whole group average, with their numbers included, is a 0.7. So ridiculous numbers there for Karma and Scump. Both players showing their worth in hardpoint, and here's where they shine in search and destroy so far this weekend. Karma, he's a guy that a lot of people back at Anaheim, they were questioning, saying, what's going on with him? Is he back, Matt?
He had a bad Anaheim. I never thought, I mean, throughout the year, he's actually had some pretty good games. You know, he's been a pretty consistent player for OG, but Anaheim was just, you know, probably one of his worst events I think he's probably ever played. I think he would probably even tell you that as well. He's definitely played very good this weekend.
Search and Destroy Retaliation is coming up next, game number 2 in our best of 5 series. This, of course, is the battle for the #1 seed here in our final week of group play. Next weekend, we have the $500,000 playoffs, and if you're a top seed, you are guaranteed to go up against a squad that struggled earlier in the group stages. Talking with OpTic Scump, he said, I would love to match up against Fnatic. If we can draw Fnatic, we're feeling great about playoff number 2.
Well, like Fnatic, I think would be a good draw for OpTic. I think a lot of the teams, you know, in that #1 spot would like to draw Fnatic in a round 1, but you look, you know, Fnatic is a very scary team from the standpoint that, you know, they come out, they play well in the respawns. You know, they can get hot in search and destroy as well. They can make it a game, and you know, you get Scraps and Wuskins, you know, playing well together. Could be a scary game for any team, but I know OpTic Gaming looking already towards playoffs, towards champs. For me, look, this team, they could go on and win playoffs. It's really just no champs for me. They got to show up at champs.
You're looking forward to the big one.
Yeah.
$1.5 million, a little bigger than 0.5.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's extremely important going into stage 2 playoffs and placing well, but I think for this team, like as a whole, I think they look towards champs. They put a lot of pressure on themselves the last few years. They need to come up. I don't even think they really need to win champs necessarily. They just need to play well. Like, they need to be there on Sunday.
They got to be in a finals of champs, something they have never accomplished.
I think they just need to be playing on Sunday. I think if this team went into champs and, you know, with the heartbreaks they've had in recent years, I don't think the guys would be too happy about it. I think the fans would just love to see them playing on Sunday.
For the record, also asked Scump, who would he not like to play? He'd like to play against Fnatic because he feels they match up very well against European teams. Would not like to match up against Enigma 6, a potential 2nd seed, if they lock up the #1 spot. Here's a look at the opening attack here for EnVyUs as we open Retal, and wow, John peeks and Formal tags him up with every single bullet. First blood already in favor of OpTic Gaming.
That was quick. Now Envy playing... well, 2-man down. Karma will pick up a kill as well as Apathy, though, evens it up. Some nice ERAD kills there at close range on Scump and Crim.
Apathy's always been that X factor, and he shows you what he brings to the table in the world of the SMGs. Looking for kill number 3 as Karma is going to look to group up here with Formal. Envy is on a full rotation. Formal, he got the first blood on John. Will he be able to do more damage from range? Karma has spotted JCap. The call out is made. Formal looking to execute.
Yeah, they knew exactly where Envy was going. Karma picks up the final kill there, but Karma from Plat and looked over, saw there was nobody on bomb. With only that much time left, you know they're going over towards the bridge. They rotate back towards the A site, and they're able to pick up both players.
The stats don't lie, man. Karma's good for a kill per round. They stay true so far through the start. OpTic now will switch sides, take their turn on the attack. Karma, always your bomb carrier.
Now we'll see what OpTic decides to do here on offense in their first round. And Crim, he's definitely spotted at least one coming over bridge. Probably has spotted more now, and that's going to let Scump turn around. To be JCap, though, winning the first fight. You see how weak he is.
Yeah.
And here's Scump telling his teammates here in the venue how weak JCap was. Wasn't able to finish him off, but there it's going to be Formal picking up Apathy on the cross. So he's trying to get into Broken, and that'll even things up at 3 players apiece. And now Crim has gained a world of information.
Oh, yeah.
He knows that Envy is backed all the way up through the bridge.
So smart for Crim not to fire in that scenario. And here he goes with the challenge. Spots 2 players, finishes the second, feels the pressure, almost gets JCap, but JCap is going to get 2 of his own. So now it's a 1 versus 1. Formal versus JCap. Formal has every opportunity to finish off that last kill. He had the advantage there, but now he has no idea where did JCap go. Bad timing there for Formal. He turns right. JCap had looped around, was waiting for him. And a nice job by the captain of EnVyUs. Ties this one up at 1-1.
Yeah, JCap just gets lost for a little bit. Formal not there to trade that kill out right away. There'll be a 1v1 win there for JCap. So Envy gets their first round in the board.
JCap starts that right. He wins the 1v1 versus Scump. Picks up the final kill. He's sitting at 5-1. And he's working on streaks here.
Now we'll see Envy. They know at least one player is crossed, and that's an easy kill there for JCap. He is now working closer towards the Trinity rocket. The 125 away. He has bomb. They're just trying to get him safely over here towards this B site so he can get it down.
Mr. Ace Cap gets the bomb, but now he's got everyone else to deal with. Can he do it again? Formal and Karma left alive.
It's a big play, though. Instead of opting to plant the bomb, he plays for the kill. Knows there's one in market. 50-50 chance he'll win the fight. He takes it. He's able to get one more.
7 streak. Doesn't get back-to-back aces, but what a run there from Cap.
Yeah, able to pick up one here. Turn it from a 1v3 into a 1v1, but this time Formal there to trade it out. Easy kill. 4 shots there from Formal. Gives OpTic round number 2.
Keep your eyes on Cap as this game continues. We take our screen over to Formal. FTL jump available. You saw how useful it was at the end of that hard point. Formal, one of the best players in North America when it comes to the FTL. But we'll keep our eyes on our bomb carrier. Karma is going to dictate the movement on the map, and he's got player number 7, Crim6, leading the charge. The world champions looking for first blood as Crim peeks into the hotel. Bomb should be able to be planted safely. And you see Envy, those red arrows, all grouping together. They're going to decide to go safely through market. And now they have a little bit of intel as Crim shows his position.
And Cap will start calling in the streaks here, so tags up one.
So going for Karma on the wall run. It looks like he's going to find Crim. 4-on-3 scenario. John peeking with the rad. Now going for the wall run. Bouncing off in case anyone's peeking. He's going to find 2. Formal there to trade. 2-on-3. Apathy has just jump bomb.
Yeah, but the bomb is planted for OpTic, and Scump going on the wall run here. They're not able to get eyes on it. It'll be Apathy getting the defuse, giving Envy the round. And that is one where maybe they could have played a little bit differently. Saw Apathy on bomb, but just a lot of fire coming towards Scump and Formal. Not able to get a look.
I like that call. I know it's early to use some score streaks, but they needed to break through. They had to go for a full retake, 4-on-4. Cap opens it up. They get the information. John pressing the action is really what allowed Apathy to jump on that bomb. The aggressive E-Rad forcing 2 players back. John picked up 1, and then Formal after the trade just could not finish off the bomb diffuser in time. JCap at 10-2, going total man mode here in our game number 2, the final series of group play.
So it's going to be Envy with a 3v2 advantage, trying to work down towards B. So we'll see. Oh, Formal just fires a bullet there. Knows at least 2 players from Envy are up on the plat. And now with bomb down, you have some idea of your OpTic where these players are. So you think, probably rotate out towards market. You knew there was one top plat. Now, that's going to be a trade there. So it'll be a 1v1 here. It'll be Crim going up against Cap. Cap has been so good here in game number 2. I mean, he could kind of hide within, eyesight of the bomb, call it Scaravan, or he's going to ping the street. Now he knows exactly where Crim is.
Time ticking down.
Cap played that perfectly, so Crim will jump off the map. It'll be the round that'll go to Envy. Cap knows exactly where Crim is, checks bomb, backs out, watches one doorway, checks bomb yet again, sees him not on it, knows he has won the round. Crim does not want to give Cap even more points towards potentially more streaks.
And that's just a veteran play. A lot of youngsters, they might go out there and challenge after knowing where Crim's at. No, not JCap. Waits out the time, knows the scenario, and plays it perfectly. And now we have Karma. He is going to get the bomb down for OpTic Gaming. Everyone survived the initial skirmish. And Cap is looking for kill number 12. His teammates, 5 kills combined. This has been a one-man army. Slasher gets into the action, but Formal trades out 2, and Scump will find Apathy. So it's only JCap left, and he will get pinched. Nice round by OpTic Gaming.
If they just kill Cap, they're good. I mean, the others really have not shown up here in game number 2. I mean, what was it? It was, I think it was a 1v2 he's able to clutch there, a 1v1 scenario he's able to go his way. I think he had a 1v1 against Formal. He got to go in his favor as well. So Cap's been a big part of why Envy even has rounds on the board here in game 2.
J-Cap, your bomb carrier once again. You can see the plan. It is clear. Let's get aggressive. Let's go lower street. Where's OpTic going to be set up? It's a 2-2 split for OpTic. 2 players close to market, the other 2 close to the top bomb site. And J-Cap is going to go for the lower street plant. This one's going to get off safely. The question is, how do you set up to defend it? Nice bank nades coming in from Karma. Can he finish off the kill? He's got teammates there. It's Formal and Krim picking up your initial 3. Slasher, last man standing. He's got the NV4 at distance. This is where he's most dangerous, but there are just too many OpTic members checking every corner, but Karma comes around firing, and it will be an OpTic round.
Yeah, they get first blood, and then as soon as J-Cap gets bombed down, a few nades come in, they get him weak, and then just players down from the market just flood in. You're able to take out everybody of Envy. Will be another round here for OpTic, making it 4-3. And it's really, I mean, this game could have easily been 6-2, 6-1 if Cap is not just going off.
Envy, they're still in it. Who's going to show up? Where is John? Where is Apathy? Where are the first bloods? John and App currently 2-7, 2-6. OpTic Gaming on your screen as they will be attacking here in round number 8. Just need 2 more rounds. And they're going to see everyone from Envy rotating around. OpTic has the bomb site, and they may continue their run.
So it looks like they're gonna plant this, and they're gonna back up for Cathedral. But Cap does have the bombardment. See if he's able to get anybody with it. It'll be John taking out Slasher. Nothing with the bombardment. So you burn the streak and a team kill there at the beginning. You do have the man advantage. The bomb is planted for both players on OpTic, though.
Apathy and J-Cap running together as you saw Formal about to get tag team. John jumps out by himself, but there is the finish from Cap. And Cap continues on his reign of terror, 12-4. They will give the defuse to Apathy, and this is going to be a tied game.
Yeah, 4-4 rounds. This has really been J-Cap versus Formal here in map number 2. OpTic trying to start this series up 2-0. And then, you know, you go to uplink. They've been fantastic in that game mode. You'd expect the series ends there, but we'll see. It'll be Envy on offense. A bomb in the hands of J-Cap. Does have the Centurion. I don't know how he'll opt to use that here in Search and Destroy. We see it, you know, sometimes you get the bomb down. Maybe you haven't watched the flank on a defensive setup. It's going to be a slow push here from Envy. We do have Apathy pushing over here towards the top side. See if you can get a jump on one player.
Yeah, Envy's biggest weakness was their search. And you see one of those small mistakes, the challenge, but Krim instantly punishes wall-to-wall running. Krim just locks onto Apathy and hits every bullet.
And OpTic's going to give them that lower market bomb site. Scump playing that angle we just saw him in. He's going to be looking straight down through market. And OpTic's going to probably just try and retake this with the man advantage. So bomb will go down. Slasher's going to have 1 kill here.
I love the patience and the positioning there. He puts himself in a situation where they have to run by. Unfortunately, Cap can't trade right there. There's 3 players called out. How do John and Slasher get together and work this down? OpTic, they don't jump the bomb right away. They're looking for the final 2 kills, and it looks like John is getting snuck up on. Player number 5, Scump, right here, should be able to trade. Scump with the E-Red will find John, so it's a 1v2 for Slasher.
They have no idea where Slasher is, though. The last time they saw him, he was actually up in the hotel. Formal looks towards market, spots him, beams him down. It'll be OpTic 1 round away.
13-5, and he just makes it look so easy. Floats his way over and hits every shot against Slasher. What a job by Formal right there.
And they'll be OpTic Gaming 1 round away from continuing their S&D dominance here this weekend. It's been a game where they've looked lights out. Envy does look much better than they did on day 1. yesterday they were able to win some SNDs in commanding fashion. Here, as opposed to the 6-1, 6-2s we saw against OpTic on day one, obviously 4 rounds, making it much more competitive.
That last round could have been totally different if JCap had one more bullet to finish off the trade kill. Instead, it's OpTic now on game point. Initial skirmish, everyone survives once again. Formal backs away with his NV4 as OpTic wants to take their time. Too much pressure down at that B bomb site at Lower Street. Instead, they're going to look for a pick first.
And I wonder if OpTic, saw the players come out down towards that lower market. And I believe JCap used the Centurion down there, so we'll see how OpTic decides to play this. Karma hops bomb for a second. Just trying to bait one of these players out. Still a decent amount of time here for OG, because you burn the streaks on Envy. Scarab comes in. It'll be Karma, though, looking the wrong way. Apathy is able to take him out. That'll be first blood for Envy and bomb down for OpTic.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure JCap got hit markers on that Scarab. He makes the calls, and Envy is coming flying through. Scump versus 2. Scump is going to make it a 1v1. John versus Scump, the reactive pop, but Scump needs to reload. Scump challenging John running, and it's going to be John hitting the final shots. What a job. Man, Scump a little unlucky there with the reload, and big props to John holding strong and finishing it out to force the round 11.
Yeah, that looked like one that Scump was definitely going to clutch. He probably didn't even know how many bullets he had. He just popped out, shot as soon as he reloaded. He had to slide out.
Bullets faster, man.
Again. John, though, keeping his calm, able to win that gunfight.
JCap, a rock star early, has slowed down. His teammates coming alive. John keeps him in it in round 10. How do we conclude this game number 2? JCap with bomb for EnVyUs. Backing up, Slasher is going to look for an intro pick, but the man who has caused him problems all game long is Formal, who is patiently waiting back here outside the graveyard.
And Formal can see if they get up right on a bomb. The issue is if they spot Formal, they'll have Slasher there to just trade this out right away. And smart play by Formal. Backs up, knows there's a situation where he could get pinched on.
And he can FTL to safety as well. Keep that in the back of your mind. Shots are going up and over the wall from Crim 6 as he finds Slasher. Apathy tries to trade it, though. Throwing the grenade, expecting more from OpTic. They do not push, but JCap gets punished, and that's bombed down. OpTic's well aware of it. Crim 6 spotted. Apathy there to trade. Scump makes it now. John versus 2. Can EnVyUs' John do it again? He's got to take down Scump. Formal's still up there to support. He spotted both players. They have no idea where he's at, but Formal's got the gun. The NV4 holds true, and Formal locks it in for OpTic Gaming. This one, the closest we've seen of the search and destroys. Well done by Envy, but massive props here to OpTic to get a 2-0 victory.
Yeah, you see Slasher clearly heated, and he thought he had a good position, trying to figure out a way that he could pick up a kill there in the corner. And you see they're just like kind of going down the line. Slasher's looking at John, John's looking at Cap. Just seems like they were not on the same page of how to play out that final round. They'll be OG taking a round 11 to go up 2-0 here.
And now you're playing uplink. Another game mode they haven't dropped yet.
Slasher's pissed.
You got a fiery Slasher. Austin is not having it on the main stage. Visually frustrated, and you have to wonder, is their mental game going to be strong enough to keep them in the series? Envy now has to win 3 straight. We'll see if they can get it done after this short break. It's time for game number 3. Envy falling just short after a stellar performance in Search and Destroy by JCap. It's OpTic with the round 11 formal seals the deal, as OpTic Gaming is now on match point. Can they close the weekend undefeated, Matt?
I think they can. I think this is a OpTic Gaming team that's just rolling right now. They know how important this series is, obviously, to get that #1 seed. And you make it a little bit easier come stage 2 playoff time at the beginning of your bracket run. I think they wanted that easier road of the two options, and they came out with a lot of passion here against Envy.
We got a lot of fans in the crowd here today supporting OpTic Gaming. The green wall out in full force. We're starting things off with Slasher, who he's been watching some Clayster. He's been watching Josh. He's got a sniper of his own.
0 for 1, 0 for 2.
And what's the thought process here, Matt? Why pull out a sniper rifle in uplink?
I mean, maybe you get like a quick pick off the beginning. I mean, the opening break's so important in uplink. You get one pick, you pick up another gun, it's right in your favor. And you see Karma carrying the drone, trying to get it to Crim. Crim trying to get it away. Not able to do so. A lot of pressure coming from Envy. Envy holds on defense.
And that was a slight fumble there for OpTic. 1 point play, just not fast enough. And you are going to see JCap now leading the charge for EnVyUs. One player to beat. It's only Scump left alive. A dunk, it was there. Instead, they go for the 1 point toss.
Yeah, it's good. Just get those early first points on the board if you're Envy. Don't need to force it in for 2. It's the beginning of the game. Now you get that first point on the board, and put a little bit of momentum on your side, make up to get a little bit more defensive. It's the right call.
Crim 6 going to be working through, and he's got a player around this corner. Finally clears their lemon. 2 more players around the corner to challenge Crim with Scump, but it's Slasher's NV4 that wins that fight. 3 down now for Envy as OpTic finally gets a little bit of breathing room, and that's a big kill from player 2 Formal. As he picks up the kill at the underpass, here comes the OpTic push. Everyone spawns up around bowling, and a jammed up Crim 6 is charging right through it. Finds 2, the drone behind him in the hands of Scump, and this is a dunk.
Yep, 2 points there for OpTic. It's Crim leading the charge. It's a 3 streak here for Crim, and the Anaheim, they had him with an NV4 in his hands. I thought he looked pretty good. Personally, now with an ERAD playing a little bit faster, ERAD K-Bar, Crim has looked great this weekend.
Complexity Crim. Old school Crim does it all. Love seeing him with the sub in his hands. Apathy for Envy. In the feed, takes down Crim 6 on the perimeter. And Apathy will not be there to support the drone as it stalls out in front of OpTic's base. Instead, he's looking for the backstab. There's one player hanging back looking for him. It was Crim. And now they know where Apathy's at, but can they stop him? There's too much pressure from Envy on the front line. Only player number 4 survives the battle. It's going to be Karma, and Karma is finally eliminated. But the drone was pushed all the way into the Envy base. Cap and crew going to try and push this drone forward.
Yeah, it's nothing they can do. I mean, Apathy pushed so far forward that you see the rest of OpTic Gaming. They have 4 guys right around the drone. Envy have another player on the flank. That is Slasher, but they're not in a great position to make anything happen in terms of offense here. It's Crim and Formal just picking up kills.
JCap sitting at 10 and 8. On the other side, you got Formal. +3 on a 3 streak at 9 and 6. And I want to crank up our headphones with them. Let's listen in with OpTic Gaming.
I left you. I left you. I'm playing defense.
Still be cut.
One on ball.
Nice, far right.
Nice.
Front red and
I think
John's close.
on our
John's
side.
close.
Push.
He's right there. He's right
mid,
there.
mid.
John's here.
They're gonna go for the green one.
They love mid. They love mid.
Top green one.
One more mid. John's here.
Get on.
Dude,
Dude, app and
Go through grandma. Go through grandma. Someone go through
bottom bar.
grandma.
He could be bottom bar.
definitely hiding.
He's probably top green. He loves top green.
I got grandma.
Get up. 3. Go.
He's got it front green.
He's front green.
Yeah, he's front green. He
Oh
just
shit,
shot on
I
me.
jumped in front of him.
He's
Watch out, sandbag.
behind
First sandbag. Under the window, right there.
Got
him, one more pocket.
Nice.
You got me,
Jumped
top
up.
train, top
They'll
train.
have Matt.
One shot underpass, absolute.
There's two.
He's going right.
They're gonna go right. They're gonna go left,
going
guys.
right.
So yo, get on the desk. Get on the desk.
Oh, he's underpass.
Guys.
I'm watching
Oh,
our
fuck,
barn.
my
I'm
bad,
watching our
my
barn. I'm watching our barn.
I'm hitting it. I think they're going left.
Someone playing us. Someone playing us.
There, two.
I got it.
Back left cap. He got me.
I got cap.
Nice. Someone's high barn above you, Seth.
We're there.
Go for one now.
One more here, Slasher.
Good shit, baby.
Nice.
I played. I shouldn't have done that.
Everyone run right. Yeah.
Yo, someone grab. You could grab ball and throw it left. Actually, no. Fuck that. Let's just slide. Everyone just slide.
Coming to help you, Matt.
Two bus.
They spawn right.
One shot. Go right train.
Top 10.
Go right train. Absolutely. Go underpass. Go underpass for one. You should have it.
Two more back red. Two more back
Give it
red.
up, give it up, give it up. Hurry, hurry, give it up.
They all spun bowling. They're all bowling.
Let's go, Ian.
I'm going right, going right.
John, weak on point. Yeah.
One on
Holy
three push,
shit.
Damon.
One guy's going
Hey,
underpass.
he's here, green, red sidewalk.
Yeah, he's top train, Damon. 2 to 3. One in the pocket.
Yeah, two there,
Three right,
two
guys,
more.
three right.
Two more.
I can't challenge it.
Stay alive, that's
What's
fine.
hitting me
Stay
close
down,
fence?
stay
Hitting me
down.
close fence.
Underpass, John. Fuck. John, underpass, full health.
Good. One shot, Slasher.
One guy's close.
Haystack John, one shot, Haystack John, one shot.
Rotate back left.
I am, I'm trying to.
They might just blow
Go
green.
middle.
No, they're going mid.
Bottom.
They got me. One bottom barn. Nice.
One shot.
Dead with ball.
Our mid.
Hey, only got one. Slash last guy dead.
Nice, good job.
First guy cap.
Stop mid, he's not mid. I'm weak. I'm waiting for you guys. Go right.
No, there's 6
Cover, just
seconds.
kick
I know.
kick.
Clean kill.
Cap dead.
Could be cut.
Don't let Slasher kill you.
Job, yeah.
Good shit, yo.
Good job.
That was our bad side, yo. Good job.
So glad I missed that one.
Atta boy.
Oh, I am almost about to use a fucking E-Rad.
They're using, yeah, they're using two.
Using two, but I just keep dying of.
This is good side though for a K-bar.
RF
This
camo.
is good side for a K-bar, Damon.
Be aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm going left.
I'm with you.
What an awesome listen in there with OpTic Gaming. You know, these players, they don't have those red outlines on their screen. They are simply listening to those calls, knowing exactly where the enemy is going to be before they round the corner. And apologies for the slight glitch there at the end. Envy was able to get a 1-point toss in the final 10 seconds to make this a 4-3. But what was most impressive during that listen in, Matt, was the manual toss that we watched. They manually tossed it to underpass. The 1-point play is missed, but Crim6 slayed his way in and was able to do a backflip in for the dunk. OpTic now with a 1-point advantage, and you heard Crim saying they feel like they're playing from the good side now.
Yeah, this is the side they love to attack. You know, you can get a lot of pressure down towards bike path. You can get 1-point shots, you know, very crafty through the middle behind the hay. I think it's a good side to attack on. As you see, OpTic, they picked the drone up. They've thrown it forward for some yards. Now they're just trying to slay out, but they got Crim on this flank. So look for the other two players to potentially hold, see if he can pick up some kills, and he doesn't.
And I like that little flank battle between Crim and Apathy, both players catching each other. Once they realize it's missing, they turn the corner, and right there they are, waiting for him. Karma slaying his way in on a 3, looking for 4, finds John. Karma has just opened this up for OpTic Gaming, and they're going to convert it into points. Player number 5, JCap, last one up, the first off the respawn, and he will be sent right back to bed. The kills, it's a 4 down again, total control for OpTic Gaming.
And Envy's in a lot of trouble. They need to get the members of OpTic off of this hay area, out of their own base. Formal and Karma still in there for OG. They finally pick up the kills. I see Scump. Close quarters with the E-Rad, not able to get anything going. But Envy needs to find some kind of offense here. We've seen, you know, a lot of offense, a lot of aggression from OpTic. We need to see it on the other end from Envy.
Karma taken out by a nade. And that is now 2, make it 3 down for OpTic. Envy trying to put OpTic on the back foot. It's going to be Karma staggered just like JCap was in the opposite push. This time around, though, for OpTic, they're able to get some kills out of it. Drone's moving forward, and it is a 1-point toss, narrowly missed by Scump, who went up for the interception.
It's a good push there from Envy, though. They were able to muscle their way in, get a 1-point play on the board. It's only a 1-possession game. You just need a few kills to go their right way to be right back in it. And you see 3 kills mid-map. Scump, the only one alive, and he's very far out of position. He's all the way on the opposite side of the map. Gonna be, it's a 1-point throw that gets intercepted there by Formal. OpTic gets pretty fortunate there. They did not have all their players in position to play defense.
And Formal with another manual pass. This time it's Crim with the overdrive trying to throw this up for the dunk, and there it is. 8-4, OpTic now has 2 minutes and 5 seconds, a 4-point lead. Can they hold on?
And Envy has a lot of work to do here in the final 2 minutes. They gotta act. The issue with hardpoint that makes it so difficult against teams like OpTic and LG is that you can't really just pick up one wave of kills and then maybe like go on the overextension like years past, or, you know, get a really long 1-point throw. You have to pick up 2 waves of kills and you know, kind of gun them down, running at them with obviously one guy with the drone in his hands, you know, obviously not able to do much of anything. It's very difficult, but they use the camo there. They get 2 points on the board. Now only down 2. They need to get back towards mid-map, need to get some drone control. You see OpTic grab it and throw it forward. But they have Slasher still trying to slay out in the back of the base. It's a good position for him. He's just not able to hold it very long.
Karma does not have his camo yet. Slasher has already used his. Keep your eyes on that as the game goes on. Karma still needing a few more kills. Scump is getting ever closer to his payload as well. And Formal pulls out the EnVy4 and just melts through Apathy and Slasher. Looking for a third with half health. He continues the fight. Crim6 is there with the help. The drone is moving forward for OpTic Gaming. They've got the spawn staggered here for EnVyUs. They're all flying in 1 versus 2. And now the drone has a lead blocker. It's Crim6 out front and Scump jumping this one up.
Yeah, it's Crim really playing well here. 28 and 22 on a 5 streak. He has 4 points to his name, but every time OpTic has gotten control of the EnVy base, it's been an assault led by Crim6.
Karma's about 2 kills away from that camo. And we got Scump making sure EnVy is not getting anywhere near. I don't think we're even going to see a camo dunk with 15 seconds left. OpTic Gaming has this one locked up. You just got to keep EnVy off the drone, and they can't get anywhere near that objective when they're coming off respawn. Here's the Karma camo dunk. Jammers all around him. He's going to get stopped at the goal line, but enough is already done, Matt. OpTic Gaming with the 3-0 to seal the deal, the #1 seed here in week number 4. They take the top spot in the green group.
Yeah, they made that series look relatively easy outside of the game, too. Search and Destroy, EnVy hung close, but the respawns, that is where they fell. OpTic Gaming looking as dominant as ever here in week number 4.
Matt, we've watched all of these teams, 8 of them now moving into playoffs. Where's OpTic in your rankings? How high are they?
They got to be in your top 2 or 3. I think, Splice had not looked as good as they did, but it's only 1 weekend. You can't really judge Splice off of 1 weekend. They were tremendous at their previous 2 tournaments, first, second. I definitely think Splice is up there. Luminosity as well. I throw OpTic Gaming right there, number 2, number 3.
I think OpTic's back in the running for best team in the world. They showed some great work this week, and I can't wait to hear from the players their thoughts of how this all broke down. Matt, any final thoughts on this OpTic EnVy?
I know it's been a tremendous weekend. I think EnVy surprised a lot of people. I'm looking forward to the playoffs next week.
Right now on our main stage, we have the 2-time world champion, and he's alongside Maven.
Thanks, guys. Damon Barlow. You came in, there was maybe a little bit of doubt for one of the few times with this OpTic Gaming team. How does it feel to kind of prove everybody wrong, come out and just dominate this weekend?
Well, we weren't lying online. We had really good practice. Obviously, we didn't really do too well in the hard points on the first day. But as I was saying, it was like the first day, we didn't really get to practice hard points because Epsilon didn't want to scrim us. Next day, we scrim EnVy, and we went on and we won the hard point that we played versus Cloud9. And today we did the same thing. We scrimmed EnVy earlier, or Cloud9, on throwback, and we actually won it, and we lost previously to them. So I think it's just a huge thing with us for our hard points is to go, actually be able to play it before we go into a match. Uplink and S&D, for some reason, our teamwork's just always there, but hard points just a little different. So I feel like, going into playoffs, if we get that practice in before the matches, I think it'll really help, and we'll do a lot better in hardpoint.
Well, I mean, speaking of hardpoint, you guys definitely improved, but I want to talk a little bit about the other game mode, Search and Destroy. You guys were lights out. You had the top 4 KDs in that mode. You were incredible. You were 6-1ing just about everybody throughout the first couple of days. Why have you been so strong in that particular game mode?
I think it's just been preparation, seeing what the teams are doing, and then just playing out the maps. I think our strongest thing this weekend was reacting. We wouldn't just do the same thing every round for no reason. If it wasn't working, or if we saw they were doing something differently, or if we saw they were giving us different looks, we'd react to that. And I think when we've always been playing good in Search and Destroy, it's when we've been reacting to what the other teams are doing rather than just spawning up and going, hey, we're going to 4-hit this every round. It's not that simple.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the next week or so. We've got playoffs around the corner, champs right there as well. What's the kind of the plan for this OpTic Gaming team in preparation for these next 2 big events?
Well, we're here until playoffs, obviously. We're staying, EnVy's staying, I believe, and we're probably just going to be playing them every couple days. You get some scrims in versus them, and really just polish up whatever we need to be done, throwback uplink, throwback hardpoint, breakout, retail, all of them. Just go through all those. Obviously, they showed that they're not in their Anaheim form. They're looking a lot better. So it'll be good to practice against them before playoffs.
Awesome. Well, good luck with the practice. Congratulations on the first seed. Now for the viewers and also for you, we're going to go to the desk, and they are actually going to be showing the playoff bracket. Ben, take it away, buddy.
Thank you very much, Maven. Congratulations once again to OpTic Gaming. They secured the first seed from this weekend. As you heard Maven say, in just a few moments' time, we will be announcing the Stage 2 playoff bracket. Before there, though, I do want to get your guys' opinion on that last series, of course. The first time we saw OpTic Gaming versus EnVy play, it goes the distance, goes all the way to Game 5. This time, nope, OpTic Gaming, they handle business. They go 6-0 in the group. Just an all-around fantastic performance from OpTic.
Yep, awesome performance overall. Going back to that first hard point, when OpTic is able to, dominate that first map, it just makes the rest of the series so easy. When you go into those map number 2s and you feel so darn confident in Search and Destroy, albeit that search was extremely close.
Right.
But the fact that you can go in and get that first map is huge for OpTic at this point.
And one player we should really highlight is going to be Scump Momo. This guy has had just an MVP-like performance throughout all of this weekend.
Yeah, he hits 40. This guy all weekend has been phenomenal. I'm trying to think of a map where he played average. He really didn't. Every single game, every single mode, map, he's played phenomenally. And credit where credit is due. OpTic Gaming, they've not been the favorites, in global kind of aspects for quite a while now, for a couple of months. So it's good to see them back on top. It's good to see them in great form. And I think Scump's been a huge factor of that.
Definitely has. Slasher as well drops 40 in map number 1. But I think the key to success that you have to look at really when you talk about Team EnVyUs is John and App. You need that combination to really come out all guns blazing.
When teams give OpTic trouble, it's their submachine gun presence, right? It's the two guys who are roaming the map, especially EnVyUs. When you look at the presence, even last year in Black Ops 3, when they won Stage 2, when they were competing with them in Orlando, when they won champs and when they beat OpTic Gaming, it was John and Apathy. They were just so darn good. And in that map number 1, they were just struggling. And of course, who took over? Scump, their SMG. So you can just see, if you're able to put a little bit of pressure on Scump, sort of like what Luminosity does, right? Things can change, but that's the duo that you definitely want to see step up for playoffs.
Yeah, it definitely is. Of course, OpTic Gaming 1-0 up in the series at that point. We then go to map number 2, Search and Destroy. And this didn't disappoint like the first series. It wasn't a blowout by any means. It goes the distance around 11. JCap had 11 kills in round 5. Sadly, though, did slow down a little bit there. T-Pony finished with 12.
Yeah, he was really the factor, the only person on EnVy that was keeping them in this early on. He did kind of fall off. That's when OpTic started to get that round 6 and 7, shifted some of the momentum back in their favor. But Formal, most importantly, heated up as well to sort of counteract what JCap was able to do early on in this one. Formal ends with 14 kills. Man, the guy was on fire in this one.
Definitely stepped up, finished with a 2.33, I believe. But one big play. Remember, obviously, you talked about Scump in map 1. In round 10, he almost got himself a 4-piece, a 1-v3 clutch.
This is it right here. This is it. He picks up the 3, uses the reactive, and he runs out of bullets. He had to reload. Fair enough. But just as he re-challenges, you talk about COD timing, that reactive goes just at that wrong time for him. Pushed to round 11, of course, and then we kind of saw OpTic take the final round. But I think, again, that would have been a very, very special play, whether you think top 5s or whatever.
4-piece.
It was incredible, and it would, of course, sealed the deal.
Yeah, it definitely would have done. But in terms of that round 11, Merc, it felt almost as if EnVy didn't really have a game plan going in.
Oh, it was very messy. If you saw after the game, Slasher was sort of just talking to those guys, sort of giving a bit of a Slasher rant. You could tell he was upset. They just gave 2 kills to Crim6 as he was doing that wall run, and it just felt like they weren't decisive enough. You either had to 4 push or you rotate back to that B bomb site. I just think something went wrong. Obviously, their Search and Destroy has been getting better. The retail S&D, the first game we saw EnVy today, was not good. This one obviously was around 11, which against probably the best S&D team in the world right now. So they're getting better the more repetitions they're getting, but just that round 11, they definitely have to be more decisive.
Of course, OpTic Gaming up 2-0 at that point. We then go over to the uplink map 3, and this is where OpTic Gaming close it out in style. They take the 3-0 victory over Team EnVy. So, of course, at this point, they had already secured that number 1 seed. But, I mean, Formal drops a 1.58 TP. I mean, he was just slaying everything.
Yeah, I don't want to say Formal was necessarily quiet throughout the weekend, but this series in specific, he really showed up and really showed that top, NV4 player form. I want to give some credit to Slasher throughout the weekend, although he had a pretty poor map here to get closed out. But overall, he dropped 43 in the hard point. Probably the MVP for EnVy throughout the whole weekend in terms of the respawn game types. He did really well in Search and Destroy as well. So a really good battle between Formal and Slasher.
Completely agree. Of course, the final score there, 10-6 in OpTic Gaming's favor. Was there any doubt, Momo, for you coming into this weekend that OpTic was going to steamroll through and take that #1 seed?
There was doubt indeed. You know, I think for me, I had them always placing top 2, but I didn't see them, you know, coming in 6-0 in and kind of going through with such ease. Yes, they were faced with difficulty, Envy obviously taking the map 5, but yeah, they kind of come out on top, clutch up again. And I want to give a little bit of love to Crimsix in that last series in particular. His S&D, I think, towards the end of kind of the last 3 rounds, he picked it up and closed it out well, which he does best.
Right.
And that uplink, I feel like, even though the stats don't show it, he was the one kind of driving forward. He was that kind of entry player as well. But overall, great performance from OpTic, 6-0, going into playoffs. They've got to be confident, and I just think they won that title back. People are like, LG, the best team in the world. I don't think they like that.
And you're talking about doubt with OpTic. I mean, doubt with Envy, right? I mean, coming into this weekend, I don't think many people had them in the top 2. Anaheim was just a pitiful performance. That boot camp that they obviously went through obviously helped a good amount. So hopefully we see these guys continue to get better. You know, you heard Karma talk about it. They're going to stay here. They're going to play against OpTic the entire week. So hopefully that'll sort of set them up for playoffs.
Of course, they go back-to-back 6-0 as well. They did so in Stage 1. They repeat their success here in Stage 2. The big question, of course, is Stage 2 playoffs. But speaking of the groups, of course, all group play now has been concluded. We have finished. We know our teams that will be there at Stage 2 playoffs. Of course, Luminosity, Fnatic, they went through from the first week. Then, of course, Group Blue, FaZe, and E6. United Splice joined in week 3. Then finally now OpTic Gaming and Team EnVyUs. A couple of 0-6s there as well. Not the dream for Europe, of course, but this is how this week concluded. OpTic Gaming take the #1 seed, and EnVyUs take the #2 seed. Teep, obviously, you mentioned a couple of names in terms of your MVP discussion. Obviously, it's too early to speculate exactly because the teams have to repeat their success at playoffs. But in terms of a couple of names that stood out this week specifically, who are you looking at?
Well, you got to go towards Scump. He hasn't really been at that top of the scale in terms of us in Infinite Warfare, but man, this weekend, the guy was absolutely insane. He's chained together these really good performances for multiple events in a row now, in my opinion, but this weekend really solidified it for me. The fact that, man, Phil, I think you said it earlier, when did he have an average game? It was always by far above average, just leading the scoreboard in every category.
Yeah, I was trying to kind of think maybe he had like an average S&D at some point. No.
It's funny. It's funny to me because normally you guys will kind of have, you know, maybe one player from the first seed team, maybe another player from the second seed. Second week in a row now where it's just been unanimous across the board. I mean, those stats don't lie.
The biggest thing I want to touch on is, like, we talked about Clay so much last week of single-handedly bringing E United up. Scump, very, very similar. I don't know which player you could really say did better on an individual scale. The individual performances.
I mean, look at those stats.
I want to highlight just how damn good these two were and what they brought to their teams.
Yeah, I think if Envy I think we all agreed if Envy sort of would have got that first seed, we would have went with Slasher. I think he was another player who just, especially in respawns and hardpoint, he was really excelling. But Scump, I mean, they go 6-0. A beautiful weekend from him.
Really was. Well, without further ado, it's that time. We got the Stage 2 playoff bracket to announce, and we're going to go one series at a time. We're just going to give our thoughts. I want to get your initial reactions to those matches. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the first match at Stage 2. FaZe Clan versus Team EnVyUs. That is the draw. I mean, who do you favor from that, team?
Oh, man. I really don't know, and that's where getting a second seed is so darn scary. But FaZe, I think I will very slightly lean towards them. I think Gunless brought so much to the Search and Destroy. EnVyUs looked kind of weak in Search and Destroy. They had a really abysmal Anaheim, obviously, and then Search looked weak here. I think the hard points are going to be an absolute bloodbath in that series. But I think I'm going to lean towards FaZe in the Search and Destroys. Man, I really predict the map 5, though, and FaZe taking it. That's crazy.
That's the same thing with me. I think if Envy step up their search game, I think that sort of tide changes. I think they were very impressive in hardpoint, but, I mean, you have Attach, Gunless, you know, Zuma, Enable, those guys. They can win an HP off of Envy. So I think it comes down to the uplink. I'm going to be honest. I think whoever wins the uplink wins that series, but I think it goes 4 or 5 games.
Okay.
I've got to agree with Joe and the guys here. I think that uplink is such a decisive moment. Envy, even though they just lost the hardpoint to OpTic, they were 8-0 going into the series on hardpoint. So I just think bloodbath, the uplink, is going to be important, but I need to calm down a little bit. This gets me way too excited.
Hey, man, we're less than a week away.
That's a tough draw for FaZe.
I mean, you talk about tough draw. Stage 1, it was what, OpTic Gaming was their first game, and now of course, you have Team EnVyUs. So it's definitely not getting any easier for those guys. Without further ado, now let's take a look at the second matchup that's been drawn. It's LG and Splice.
Oh, okay.
Your Stage 1 final. That is pretty brutal top side of the bracket there. And I mean, LG, Splice team, I feel like LG right now at least will be the very, very heavily favored.
You have to give them the edge, but regardless, it's been a back-to-back grand final. We're getting that in round 1. The fact that that's the top side of the bracket is so damn scary. Yes, we've been very negative on Splice due to their, somewhat average weekend, I would say, but regardless, they still made it here to the playoffs. Sure. We know what the potential is, and the fact that what are these round 1s? I love it.
That draw, I even feel for FaZe even more, because even though they get a tough seed of second of Envy, if they win, they get basically back-to-back grand finalists of Splice, LG, but LG I think are the best team in the world for me at the moment. Yep. Splice, bit shaky obviously on their week. I will give them credit. Obviously the playoffs and Anaheim, they were great, but another fantastic round 1.
Splice beat LG at stage 1, then LG get their revenge. Merrick, how do you see this series going?
I'm going to be honest. I thought Splice was absolutely abysmal on their weekend. Like, okay. I think they're very lucky to get out. Luminosity, on the other hand, they took care of business. I think Luminosity is going to 3-0 Splice.
It's going to be
3-0.
3-0. That's okay. You're really going to light that fire underneath the Splice, boy.
I'm moving up this way.
I like it.
I'm hoping they hear me. Maybe that fires them up, But just that weekend was not good. Who are they going to go home and practice against?
That's true.
It's such a tough spot over there in Europe.
Definitely is. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at the next matchup. It is going to be EU United drawing Enigma 6. And that's an interesting one, actually, because E6 looked very, very good in their group. Obviously, EU United with Clay. Clay came here with a massive point to prove. You also have EU United and FaZe actually on opposite side of the bracket as well. So it'd be interesting to see if we get to see those two teams play.
Can I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I could be completely off. On the stage 1, wasn't that the same matchup? E6, EU United?
No, E6 played Splice.
Oh, so someone beat EU United in round 1, stage 1 playoffs? I'm sure. Because then Splice got that technical easier bracket. They played EG then E6.
Yeah.
Did E6 beat EU United in round 1?
I think it might have been.
Might have been.
So, I mean...
You're the expert, Phil. You tell me.
It did happen. I hope. But, I mean, if it is a rematch, I think that's the exciting thing for that.
Either way, talking about your prediction in that matchup, team, I mean, which way do you lean here?
I think United looked way more well-rounded. For me, though, do we get that MVP caliber Clay? I think it's really tough for him to continue to compete at that sort of level. But regardless, when Clay gets dropped, when he gets put in a tough situation, when he's sort of thrown away, we've seen that darn quote so many times, right? He comes back better than ever. So I think I'm going to lean towards E United. E6 looks somewhat weak. Got somewhat fortunate that Ghost had one of the worst Sundays that I've seen in quite a while just to make it to the playoffs. But yeah, I want to give them credit, but E United, I have them at 3-0.
That's the big issue with me is Enigma 6, they start off slow. And E United, what we saw from them, they do not. They put so much energy into the game, and I just think Clay, I think he wants a E United versus FaZe winner bracket final, so I expect him there.
I think he wants to win that championship more than anything in his life right now, that is for sure. But to do that, he's going to have to beat Enigma 6 in that first round. Then, of course, the question is, well, who are you going to meet in the second round? Well, there's only 2 teams left. So obviously that bottom side, OpTic Gaming, draw Fnatic. So even if United were to beat Enigma 6, you have the green wall down there. And of course, Fnatic. Phil, obviously, is the European expert here.
This is a tough one. I got to say, like, you talk about best teams in the world. People have been thinking LG and Splice, but obviously Splice being Europe, the kind of 2 you don't want to go up against is maybe LG and OpTic. But again, this is the best 8 teams in the world technically getting through here. So there's no easy games. You got to play the best, beat the best. I mean, it's difficult, but you know, you've got to face them. You have to face them. I do favor OpTic, you know, going into that one, but you know, maybe Scraps, maybe Scraps can put a video on Twitter, get himself gassed up, and be like, maybe he can send videos to the OpTic members gassing him down. I don't know. He's got to work some mind games.
That's a new one.
But the thing to me with Fnatic is how do they win series when we talk about big name teams? It's search and destroy. And OpTic this weekend just looked flawless in that. It's going to be a very tough battle for Fnatic. They're going to have to steal 1, maybe 2 respawns. I just can't see them doing that.
I mean, traditionally, we used to talk about Fnatic having a fantastic search and destroy. Kind of fell off a little bit. And now your problem is, well, guess what? OpTic Gaming turns out their best game mode is search and destroy team. Can you see Fnatic somehow stealing respawn against OpTic Gaming?
I hate being this critical and this guy, but no chance. No chance overall. I think if Fnatic is in one of these other groups, I don't think they even make it to playoffs, to be quite honest. These other groups were a lot more competitive on average most of the games. So I think they got pretty fortunate in the groups. They get one of the toughest matchups. OpTic's happy with this.
I think I've got to agree with Teep. It's harsh to say, but you've got to look, and right now, if I put the caliber of European teams. Do I still put Epsilon above Fnatic? Yeah. Do I put Red Reserve above Fnatic? Yeah, they're not even here. Fnatic, they may have had an easier group to get here, but I just hope they're putting in the time. I'm sure they are. And they've got to face OpTic, but I've got to favor OpTic Gaming.
What's interesting to think is imagine if Envy had done what they did in Stage 1 and stolen that #1 seed, how different that bracket would have looked for them.
Oh, wow. That would have been a scary top side. Wow. Holy moly.
Yeah, that would have been pretty interesting, that's for sure. But that, of course, now concludes the final week of group play here at Stage 2 of the Call of Duty Global Pro League presented by the PlayStation 4. Congratulations, of course, to OpTic Gaming and Team EnVyUs for qualifying for the Stage 2 playoffs after a hard-fought weekend. There they join LG, Fnatic, FaZe, E6, E-United, and, of course, our Stage 1 champion Splice to compete for their share of $500,000. We'll be back live next weekend from the MLG Arena here in Columbus, Ohio to broadcast all the action from the Stage 2 playoffs.